The Desert Dogs bite back. Let's talk about it right now on Teal Town After Dark. Good afternoon, everyone. It is Saturday, January 16th, 2021. The Sharks and the Desert Dogs split their two-game series, one game apiece, as the Coyotes beat the Sharks 5-3 on this Saturday afternoon. We welcome you to this afternoon delight edition of Teal Town After Dark. This is your live and interactive Sharks postgame. We do this after every single game the Sharks play. So, of course, this is live and interactive, so we want you to be a part of the show. Chat with us and fellow Sharks fans on the page or the app. And, of course, we encourage you to follow us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, Reddit, and Discord. And, of course, find everything at tealtownusa.com. Pleased to be joined by Mark Eisenberg. Mark, good to see you. How are you? How are things in your part of the world?
It's good to see you too. It's happy to be here. Things are same they've been for the last 9-10 months here. Just sitting in, but now I've got hockey to entertain myself, so that's a good one.
Right. It's always nice to have, and hopefully we can keep it going throughout the entire 56-game season. But as for today, this one was a rough one. 5-3 as the Sharks get taken out, I should say, by the Coyotes. Just get right into it. You saw an early penalty by Garland. Less than 2 minutes in, you see Donato tip home a shot for his first goal as a Shark and get the team Teal going up 1-0. Meyer and Ferraro gets the assist. We all know, and if you are a frequent user of tealtownusa.com, Mark was the one that kind of got our eye out for Mario Ferraro and John Leonard. So I'll let you take this a little bit, John or Mark. What did you think of your UMass boys?
I was super pumped the other day with Leonard getting those 2 assists, Ferraro looking good. Today, they both played fine, nothing special. I like Ferraro's speed, and he's looking way more confident than last season. So nice representation, and I'm loving how often I'm hearing UMass on the game brought by Randy.
It's kind of like the new Long Beach native, even though Matt Nieto's back, right?
Yep.
So it made it 1-0, and I thought things were looking good, and then the Sharks fell into get into some penalty trouble, and then they can't win a faceoff all day, which is just yikes. Kane takes a penalty about halfway through the period, and then it sets up a Phil Kessel goal on the power play from Ekman Larson. And to me, Kessel, I hate to say he's coming out of nowhere, but he kind of comes in waves. He just seems like he finds the right time to get it in, and then he keeps going and going, and then all of a sudden, you don't focus on him too much, but. And then you get Hayton, about a couple minutes later to give the Coyotes a 2-1 lead that, Meyer would get a goal, late, like less than a minute after we had to tie it up. But after that, this was all Coyotes.
Yeah, and I think you kind of nailed it with the face-offs. The face-offs killed us today. And there are games where that doesn't hurt you. You can get dominated on face-offs and you not necessarily see the impact. But today they had a couple goals that came directly off of faceoffs, and it's just not a good way. The Sharks kind of thrive sometimes with that possession game, and if you're giving the team possession right off the start, then you're going to be behind the play. So I thought the faceoffs did crush us today, and also what you said about Kessel as well. Like, that guy has such a good game when he wants to. He's a sniper. He literally can take over a game by himself. He'll have spurts where he doesn't do that, but you saw a little bit tonight kind of how good he can be when he wants to be. That's why he's been a 40-goal scorer in the past.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a nice pickup from Arizona last season. I know they were trying to make a big push to make the playoffs, and they did. But at the same time, my goodness, he hurts the Sharks in this one, kind of like how he hurt himself in 2016 to get himself one of 2 Stanley Cups there. The Meyer goal, they originally were crediting it to LeBanc, but I kind of liked it where they kind of just throw pucks on net, and you just never know.
Yeah, and that one you saw it. You throw the puck at the net, goes off a defenseman's skate, goes in the top corner. It. Obviously, the whole famous Wayne Gretzky quote, and I definitely support throwing pucks at the net. Sometimes there are things that I wish like there'd be a little bit better shot selection, but I think definitely today, especially where it was more of an even game for most of the game as far as shots go, that I was okay with them taking plays like that, and it helped us in one scenario.
Right. Yeah. It's nice, but Meyer gets his first, and gets 2 points. Another 2 point game for Timo, which is always nice to see. But it's tough. You get some coincidental minors at the end of the period. I thought Nason was going to get 4 because it looked like there might have been some blood on Dvorak at the end of the period. But
Yeah.
but honestly, I thought 2-2 after one, not too bad. And then I don't think the Sharks ever came out of the locker room after that, to be honest.
No.
Keller takes a hooking call less than 2 minutes into the period. Hey, it's like the Sharks with Vegas. They give up a goal. It's like you almost expect giving up a goal 5 minutes in. Coyotes take a penalty less than 2 minutes in. So, but unfortunately, the Coyotes would recover from that. Kessel would get his third of the season to make it 3-2. That would eventually be the game-winning goal. And then later in the period, Chychrun off the face-off, from Brassard. That's why there's only one assist, folks. Makes it 4-2. And honestly, I think the Desert Dogs kind of just controlled everything the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I think coming out of that first period, I definitely had confidence with the Sharks' ability to possibly win that game, but it just looked like kind of, Arizona took over after that. And it wasn't even necessarily, once again, like on the shot counter. It was more just, you could see in the play that their possession was better. They were controlling some of the play, and the Sharks just didn't look like they had that same chemistry they had in the first period of the first game and even tonight.
Yeah, and that's what I think we're going to see in how the schedule is made out, where you have these 2-game series. You're going to learn right away from the mistakes or the nuances or the patterns or everything that you're going to see first in the first game. Then you're going to be able to recover the second game. So something's got to give, and teams need to learn and adapt off the fly, and Arizona did that. The Sharks didn't. Unfortunately, their third period, Keller gets his second goal in as many games, 5-2 early on. You get Kane taking a slashing call, and that's the last thing that Kane needs is to be in the penalty box. He takes 2 penalties here this afternoon. Not exactly the best night for Kane. The 6 pims, and it's a tough one because then, of course, he now correct me if I'm wrong. He gets a high sticking call. I didn't see a high sticking call.
It was on the way down. That's what I was confused about that because it looked like a clean hit to me,
Right?
But it definitely contact with the helmet on the way down. But is that technically a high stick? I'm not really sure on that. And he connected with the helmet. And I think it was definitely like even with the boards. It wasn't like it was up high. So
yeah.
I think they just wanted to call a penalty on him for the hard hit. Personally.
Right, and then of course ensued a big ol' brouhaha. We'll call it. Or as Ryan Clough would say, chippiness. But it eventually would end up being a 5-3 final as Tomas Hertl would tip in a Timo Meier shot that was led by Erik Karlsson. Erik Karlsson with the point. We'll give him that. He's got an assist in this one along with Mario Ferraro. So you're getting 2 defensemen on the score sheet as this system that the Sharks are going to try to do involve a lot more offensive attack. What did you think from that today? Because I think we saw a lot more pinching on, especially when the Sharks were down, especially multiple goals.
With the guys we have on the back end, I definitely think I'm all for the idea of pinching and definitely throwing in more attack from the defense. But I'd be lying if I didn't tell you I got nervous every time Carlson. Things don't seem to go his way when he's doing it. Like I don't know. I'm still nervous with him back there. I'm hoping, obviously, with each game that he gets back in the groove. And they keep saying he's 100% healthy, so I'm hoping we see a little bit more old Eric Carlson. But
Yep.
That pinching, it's nerve wracking.
Yeah, it's gonna be nerve wracking. I think, especially throughout this season, how things are gonna be going on here. Yeah, Jerry F. Let's get to some of these comments here. Jerry F. Good afternoon to you, bud. It's interesting that this is the only matinee game all season. Go figure. You would think there'd be a lot more in there. You know, you're right. Placing the middle of the pack with terrible draft positions is still good. I'm not so sure about that. Laurel, thank you. You know what to do if you want the certain thing. He had no control of his stick. Yeah. The thing is that you're responsible for your stick in that one. I think we were excited after the first game, but we were a little hesitant. We see what the Sharks were today, and of course, rough go of it here. Anthony Sanchez, honestly, looking forward to the series with St. Louis. Honestly, not expecting much difference if Shimmick plays Monday or Wednesday. You wonder what is the status with Shimmick right now, if he's going to get in, or something's going to really need to improve.
Yeah, the bottom pairing isn't getting any minutes.
Yeah.
So, you can't. It's 2 games in the season, and we're going to be playing every other day. You can't be playing Carlson and Burns 26, 27 minutes every game.
Right, and Carlson played 32 on Thursday. I mean,
Yep.
looking, as you mentioned, the time on ice, Middleton gets 8:44. Nijov gets 9:49. A little bit better from Milosh and Nijov in that sense. But you see Mario Ferraro getting good minutes, 23:02. Vlasic 21:57, Carlson 27, Burns 26. So a little bit more spread on that part. However, I think you all wanted them to at least be in the teens.
Yeah. You need to get the 12 to 14 good minutes from your bottom pairing at least. So yes, I think it was, what did Miloš have the other day? 5?
Yeah.
And they got 2 more guys again under 10. You're going to burn out your top guys doing that.
Yeah. And I know Rob Iman is pushing for Brinson Pasechnik to get some reps on Monday. We'll see on that. Of course that Tarks that starts the clock on his career. So we'll see if that's in the plans. But of course, if he's on the taxi squad, makes a sense. Marty T, there was a Sharks fan wearing a Marlowe number 14. Where were you this afternoon? Yes, I literally just got back. I left the game early just to make sure I got back here to do the show. No. I wish, I will say, I think I'm hoping things get better to the point where I could do a road trip to Arizona this year. So we'll see on that. But
imagine a world where we can go to live hockey again.
Oh gosh, right? That'd be nice. I know you, and you're in New York, correct? Or outside? Yep. Yeah. So you have like 3 places you would love to go. Granted, the Sharks aren't going to get there unless they play for the big shiny thing. So.
Mm-hmm. And the New York teams would have to make it there as well. And the Rangers did hot in their first game.
Well, no, yeah. The Rangers weren't exactly the best. Granted, Islanders still surprised everybody. I still think it's going to be good. But the problem is that division that they're going to be in. Oh,
lethal.
Man.
Yeah.
So final results of everything. Sharks outshoot the Coyotes 34-26. Face-offs, they got better in the third. It was 60-40. in there, but the problem is that Kane 33%, Donato 33%, Couture 45, Hurdle 39, Gregor 33. The only bright spot was Patrick Marleau at 80%.
Hmm.
You know,
I wonder if this makes them consider bringing in Handemark because he's supposed to be great at faceoffs. Maybe giving him a game on the fourth line, getting him some faceoffs. I'm not really sure, but I know one of the things he was brought over to the U.S. for is his faceoff game is supposed to be really strong.
yep. I mean, well, at this point, they need it. Whatever will bring in the shades of Scott Nickel and Manny Malhotra from 10, 11 years ago would be very helpful right now. That's for sure. And again, it's 2 games. You're going to have a small sample size. I mean, you look at this. Yeah, that loser point that you gave the Coyotes kind of hurts now. And those are the games where you need to win, early on and get those points. Don't give them anything else. Otherwise, if this is you're setting yourself up to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think within this division, there's definitely going to be some room for error because I don't think it. I think it's one of the weaker of the four, but I still think pretty much the top three spots are fairly locked in, barring anything crazy. So for the Sharks to find one of those playoff spots, they're going to have to beat teams in regulation because you're giving those losers the point, but also we just got to start strong. And this weekend series, there's some optimism there, but definitely not the start you'd hope for as a Sharks fan.
Yeah, you got off to a good start, but then everything kind of fell apart after that. But
Yeah.
I mean, positives. What have you seen from these uh, two games? I look at Timo Meyer. I look at Tomas Hurdle, and definitely as I'm kind of making a transition here to your boy John Leonard. Um, like I said, you were highly touted on him and Ferraro over at UMass. I know you're kind of the our scout in the Northeast per se. So we'll thank you for that. But uh what kind of what are you looking at prospect wise right now?
Um, well, first I'll just touch on the positives. I think exactly what we saw in these first two games is kind of what we saw a lot of last year is people taking turns being good, right? So in the first game, Leonard, Hurdle, and Kane were amazing. Today, I think Couture, LeBanc, and Meyer looked a bit stronger, and I thought Gregor also had a really strong game, and he's looking good out there. He's got speed.
Yep.
And the positive is the team definitely looks a bit faster. I think there's certain guys who are playing well, and if everything gels, maybe then our team will go in the right direction. As far as prospects go, I had great experience following Ferraro and Leonard because they went to the school that I went to, so I have an easy access to getting up to those UMass games. So right now, any of our prospects are a little bit farther away from me, but I've seen a few of our guys had some really good, strong games the other day. I know Bordalo had a couple assists in Michigan. And then Gushin had a couple goals in the USHL. And then Chekovich, he's still dominating in the KHL, which is pretty impressive for a 23-year-old.
Yeah.
He's put up really strong numbers. So hopefully he's getting his confidence back over there.
I am looking forward to, and not to jinx anything because I have a lot of friends that are Michigan fans. But once Michigan season is over, I wonder if they bring in Bordalo. I think he looks really sharp this season, and if those on our Discord channel, if you're ever on there, a lot of our viewers and our followers are really watching the college game, like Mark, and definitely check that out because I think just to see the future of the Sharks, because yes, while we were thinking about the present and hoping that the Sharks do something this year, the future is starting to take shape a little bit, and there are some nuggets in there that I hope will turn into gold for sure.
Yeah, definitely a boost there from the recent draft. So a little bit of excitement for the future.
Yeah. Um, I don't. I'm gonna try and take a guess at this. Arhusum. I'm gonna guess that's how you pronounce your username. Anybody know what Sorensen's numbers were today? Uh, Played 10:23. He was on the PK for about 2 minutes and was a -1.
Had
So
a couple blocks. Saw that.
yeah, he definitely had a little more game to it, but yeah, he's one of those guys that really needs to step up, and I think that's kind of what Bugner was talking about. How after the last game, he saw Kane, Hurdle, Leonard, show up, and there are some good guys, and there are some guys that really need to elevate their game.
Yeah, Sorensen, I've actually at least noticed him the first two games, which I think is
Yeah,
better than what I could have said for him last year.
right.
He's definitely looked like he's got his speed, and I will say I've definitely throughout the two games seen moments where I was like, oh, okay, I'm not terribly disappointed. He's not quite what he was when he was a 20-goal scorer playing with Thornton, but I think there's room for him in the lineup. I'll say that, but we'll see how that progresses throughout the season. If he's not scoring and he's not doing much else, then he might get pushed out of the lineup by one of the other guys in the taxi squad.
Right, and I would hope he's feeling the heat. And Juan Timer, kind of echoing your thoughts, he's been moving around but not getting much done. He had a couple of block shots, which is good, but you need to contribute in other ways, and consistently for that matter too. So the Sharks are now 1-1 on the campaign. They head to St. Louis to start a 2-game series there Monday and Wednesday. And Mark, did you happen to see the game, St. Louis and Colorado?
I saw the box score, which was embarrassing enough.
Oh,
But yeah, 8-0. So they're going to be hungry. They are not going to want to come home, even though there probably won't be fans there. But they're not going to want to come home and get embarrassed more. So after a game like that, they're going to come with some fire.
yeah, and to give up 5 power play goals in there.
Yeah.
Not good, not good at all. Although if you're the Sharks, you're hoping that they can take advantage of that big time. Granted, they got 2 power play goals today, 2 for 4 on the power play. They got another power play goal uh, on Thursday against the Desert Dogs for sure. So I look at it as something positive as well. So that'll be hugely helpful for sure. Let's see here. Shark Glass, pros and cons for so many new guys that will be playing against St. Louis. What would you say going up against that big squad?
Definitely a good challenge early in the season. I don't think that 8-0 score is really representative of what St. Louis will be this year. So, the Arizona team wasn't supposed to be one of the stronger teams coming in this year. So that's why I'm taking what I've seen over the last two games kind of with a grain of salt. But I think facing St. Louis will be a different kind of challenge, especially for some of the newer guys. And I'm very interested to see if Bugner makes any changes to the lineup specifically.
Yeah, I would think there's going to be some changes in there for sure. I don't think you're going to see the same lineups as you saw Thursday and Saturday, but it's early on. You need to find the right fit for it, for that matter too.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be kind of the trend early in the season is at some point, I feel like you're going to try and get everyone in the taxi squad into the lineup just because you don't want them sitting and not getting games in. So, whether it's
Okay, I think we're back. Let's try and connect here with Mark and go from there. Let's check that in. Of course, AOL is just a horrible internet connection, but go figure. All right, sorry for that. Mark, are you back there with me now?
I'm back here. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Your connection will come, or your picture will come up shortly. There, I don't know what happened there. That's a first. So, guess who's looking at a new computer this week, folks? Because I'm sick and tired of this crap. So, all right. So let's as where were we? You know, we were talking about how besides how horrible my connection is, just as I thought I had fixed it up. Uh, I was looking at the what was it? M. Meyer 2200. Before that game got way out of hand, St. Louis was throwing the body. Sharks better be prepared to stick up for their young guys. Blues are known to throw their body at them. What do you what do you think of them going to St. Louis? You know,
Anytime we play the Blues, I just want to come out without any injuries. After that playoff series we had with them, I will never forget that. It's like I just want Hurdle to come out fine. I want all of our guys just to go in there, play a good game, and come out with all their limbs intact.
you are absolutely right, and of course, uh, you're going to have EK65 versus Mike Hoffman. You know it's due. They weren't on the ice too much when the Sharks played the Panthers when Hoffman was a Florida Panther. Um, you know, that right there is going to be an interesting one to throw in, along with how the Blues react to an absolute nightmarish of a game. Sharks, of course, they lose 5-3. 5-3. Yeah, of course it says 5-2. I didn't add the goal on. I'm just now seeing that. That's terrific. Yeah. So you got plenty of action in the NHL later this evening. Of course, you can check that out. The Sharks were the only game this afternoon on the docket, so you know, check that out. Yes, yes. Now you know how our donations will continue to improve the show. And I like how Rob is saying "powered by Xfinity." I am powered by Xfinity. So go figure. You know, don't know what the heck. what I can tell you there. Uh, you know, I don't know. Jones or Dubnik next game? What do you say?
I think because they threw Dubnik in at the end, he's going to get the start.
I, I
I I thought they were going to anyway, but for me, that seemed like a sure thing there. You give him those minutes to get him some game action before the game that actually will matter, because at that point of the game, it was over. So
right.
I think putting in Dubnik there means he's starting on Monday.
Yeah, that should be an interesting one for sure. I would think at least you're going to split them up for this season unless one doesn't allow a goal in the first game. You know.
Yeah.
So, alrighty. Well, after that fun experiment, and I appreciate all of you staying on there. Uh, thank you very much to each and every one of you joining us. Of course, in case you missed anything or you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and of course, always available at tealtownusa.com. I know somebody, Laurel, AJ spoke to you about the wraparound. I am now contractually obligated to not do that, but the Sharks were the only game. You're going to have, Canadians and Oilers about to get set going on Hockey Night in Canada and on the NHL Network. You're going to have the Islanders and Rangers again. About to tip off right near Mark. Mark could probably just go in there and be like, "Hey, let me in, dang it!"
I work at the stadium. I'll just sneak in.
Right? Nobody will notice. Canes and Wings, Maple Leafs and Senators, Blue Jackets and Predators, a full docket of the Wild and Kings, Ducks and Golden Knights, Canucks and Flames. I did miss one earlier today. The Devils win in overtime 2-1 over the Boston Bruins. Sharangovich with the game winner there. So all right. Okay, well, with that, before Xfinity decides to die on me again, Mark, as always, and at the last minute, appreciate you. Thank you for jumping in on this. Your final thoughts and where the people can find you.
Final thoughts. It's early in the season. Let's not panic. We got a long way to go still, and we have hockey pretty much every other day. So let's just enjoy that.
Yeah.
And people can find me on Twitter at Mark, the letter E, Mark SJS.
All right. Yes, and Laurel, future reach around. Of course. All right. We will get out of here. We will be back with you on Monday following Sharks and Blues. That is a 5 p.m. start, if I'm not mistaken. And then we will be on their way for that. And one more, apparently. Mark needs to wear that awesome new Ferraro jersey next time he's on.
I will wear that.
This is news to me. Which one did you get, my friend?
I got the one that's right over your left shoulder, the new reverse retro.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yep. Got Ferraro. Had to get my UMass boy. So now I'm looking at Leonard, but I'm like, I don't like the number 43. Is he going to stick with that?
I meant to tell you another 43 that had a good career. He ended up wearing number 14, and I know Suamel is wearing that right now. But Ray Whitney started off as 43, and he had himself a heck of a 20+ year career. So fingers crossed he gets to change his number. What did he wear at UMass?
It was 8. I'm drawing a blank. I think it was 8 or 9. 9. Sorry, it was 9.
9.
I think it was, okay. Makar was 8, Ferraro was 5, and Leonard was 9.
So Ferraro can change his number to 5.
Yep.
Not sure if he wants to have the pressure of wearing 8, especially since he's been drawing comparisons to Pavs. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see how that goes out.
Now so he's got to stick with 38. I'm set on
that. So, like we said, check out all our stuff at tealtownusa.com. AJ and I, more so AJ, has been interviewing a boatload. He interviewed Brody Brazil, Ted Ramey from the Sharks Audio Network. I sat down with Randy Hahn about prepping for the broadcast. And of course, yesterday, late yesterday, some guy named Drew Remenda for an hour-long interview, which was a great one. So definitely check that out. And of course, tomorrow, I believe it's at 7 p.m. And brand new Pucknologists, they'll be on their weekly run now. So Pucknologists at 7 p.m. tomorrow night on Sunday night. So definitely check that out. My final thoughts. Damn my internet connection. Damn it to hell. And until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you on Monday.